Don't tell me you're going tomorrow.
I can't stick around here. I need to get back.
Come on, I haven't seen you for ages.
Maybe I can get my flat for another few days. I'm not promising anything.
Great. I knew you would. I just want us to remember Emily together.
Hello?
Kristina?
Emily?
I'm so sorry.
Emily?
What happened?
Emily?
Is it true? It's dead.
Hello?
Why don't we start with why you're here?
My friend Emily died recently.
Yes, I heard about that. I'm sorry you've had to have that experience. Must be very troubling for you.
I was just wondering if you had some insight into why she would take her own life.
I'm sorry, but most of what was discussed is covered by a confidentiality agreement with my clients. I really can't help you with that.
Please, I really need some answers.
Maybe it would be better if we talk about your feelings about this. You could tell me what's troubling you? close your eyes and listen carefully to my voice. I want you to go to your deeper place, way down inside of you. Think of your calm, safe place. Go there, in your mind, now. That's good, Kristina. As you go deeper into the woods, the deeper you go into yourself.
I look in the mirror and I just hate myself. I feel exhausted.
What has scared you recently?
I saw a ghost.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I never used to. But now I'm not sure.
It's all right not to be sure. They are, after all, just a figment of our imaginations, representations of our anxieties and guilt.
Then why would I see one?
Our minds see what they want us to see. Do you believe in the afterlife?
Yes.
Do you believe in carrying on when everything else looks hopeless?
I'm not sure.
Tell me about your relationship with your parents. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get that. It's a prearranged call from one of my clients. Please, wait here. I shouldn't be long. Prochaine fois, quand vous viendrez, voilà, nous allons vraiment travailler là-dessus. Ça ira beaucoup mieux et vous verrez. Non, 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 surtout ne faites pas ça. Ce sont que des failles. Non. Voilà. Et la dernière fois que vous êtes venu, vous avez bien vu, il faut rester calme. Et vous verrez, la prochaine fois, nous en reparlerons. Voilà. Et vous verrez, ça sera beaucoup mieux pour vous, hein. Ah non, surtout pas, ne faites pas ça. Voilà. Et je vous verrai, oui. Peut-être plus tard, après, oui. Patience. Il faut beaucoup de patience.
Kristina, over here. Come on, over here. Over here, Kristina. In here. Come over here. In here. I'm sorry, I was just trying to find a bathroom.
Of course. I should have shown you where it was. What was I thinking?
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Not at all. You're an interesting girl, Kristina. I hope you find the answers you're looking for. Do speak to Reverend Peter at the church. I'm sure he can help you with this. I understand that, of course. But can you explain to me why you think a dead person is talking to you?
It doesn't talk to me. She puts thoughts in my mind.
How is this affecting you?
I feel her here every day, especially at night. as though I'm always being watched. What she used to say was comforting, but now it's things that frighten me.
I'm concerned that this imaginary friend is affecting your emotions so much.
Imaginary. She is as real as you are.
Please, keep talking to me, Emily. It's important you explain this.
I can't.
Why not?
Because she's right there, standing behind you.
Hello and welcome.
Reverend Peter.
Peter, please. It's Kristina, isn't it? How can I be of help?
There are a few things I wanted to ask you.
Well, after a bereavement, people often want answers.
It's about Emily. I just wanted to better understand what happened.
Friends and family have all sorts of feelings after an event like this. Guilt is very common.
Emily talked about seeing ghosts here in the village. And it's something that I've experienced as well.
It's very common after a death like this to have such experiences. Even for those that don't believe in the paranormal. It has something to do with the story of Agnes.
And what happened?
It's a local legend. It dates back to the 18th century. She was a maid who worked in the Lord's estate. Her parents brought her over from Sweden when they came to work here. The story goes that she had an affair with the Lord. When she fell pregnant, he was horrified that she wanted to legitimize the relationship. It was all very different back then, of course.
So what did she do?
Well, when she refused to back down, he threw her out. It was very cruel. Her parents weren't around for her, and as a single pregnant woman back then, your choices were very limited. Out of options and without any hope, she threw herself into the lake on the Lord's estate, drowned herself and the unborn child.
And that's where the ghost stories come from.
Thanks, Anne. Bye. Not exactly. It's said that she cursed the area with her death, and that her spirit returns to taunt young women into taking their own lives. It's all nonsense, of course.
But there are more suicides here than normal.
Some areas are more prone to this than others. The sad fact is, suicide hotspots occur more often than you'd think. And having a local legend like this only adds to the problem and plays into people's neuroses. Doesn't help that Alexander keeps talking about it. He's the Lord's descendant.
He lives here in the village?
Yes. The estate's had the same family and for hundreds of years. I wouldn't recommend talking to him about this. It's not the kind of thing you want to hear when you've just lost a friend in the way that you have. It can be a little bit grumpy too.
Hello, Alexander?
Yes, what do you want?
I believe I met a colleague of yours today, Dominique. She mentioned to me that you worked at the clinic. I was hoping I could ask you some questions.
Very well. Come in.
Thank you. This is my friend Emily. She passed away recently.
Yes. I was at the clinic when your friend was there, but purely in an advisory capacity. I couldn't comment on her treatment.
Advisory? At the clinic?
Yes, I retired as a surgeon many years ago, but I would be called back to advise the psychiatric team from time to time.
Why did the clinic close?
Yeah. Series of patient disappearances. Suicides. Over the years, it led to its closure.
And anything else?
There was nothing wrong with the treatment there. It was the building that was cursed.
You believe there's some truth in this curse?
Oh, yes. This house has been under dark clouds for hundreds of years. Ever since my ancestor foolishly impregnated that stupid maid.
Have you seen her?
Of course. She haunted this house for years, burning the life out of anybody who lived under its roof. Yeah, the good Reverend hasn't told you the full story, has he? My ancestor was an arrogant man. He was also stupid. A man in his position should never have gone near one of his domestic staff. I mean, a maid, for goodness sake. I suppose her being Swedish must have added an air of exoticism. Of course, the inevitable happened. Usually these things are handled discreetly, but for some reason she thought he would acknowledge her as the father of her child. A preposterous idea back then. She had to leave, of course.
How can you do this to me? How can you do this to me? I am your child. Okej! Jag går! Men jag hatar dig för att göra det här med mig! Förbanna dig och ditt hus!
The other staff turned their backs on her. Nobody in the village would help. Quite alone, with no family to turn to, She was left with almost no choice. They say that a soul that dies in a state of rage leaves a curse. Well, Agnes cursed us all that day.
So people believe these deaths were because of her.
Records in this house were very carefully kept. Particularly so on an estate so heavily reliant on agriculture. The phases of the moon were noted. Agnes's death was remarked on at the time because of the blood moon that appeared in the sky on the night of her death.
A lunar eclipse.
Indeed. 2 years on, and Agnes was barely remembered, until the next blood moon appeared in the sky. That night, a maid in the house swore she'd seen Agnes on the stairs, whispering to her. The days went on, and she became more and more hysterical, claiming she heard Agnes speaking to her wherever she went. The next morning, the estate steward found the maid hanging from a tree. After that, we grew to fear the appearance of a blood moon.
Even now.
Let me show you something.
Out there used to be the outbuildings that the servants lived in.
What happened?
I had it burned to the ground. When one of the servants started complaining about a woman who'd be seen in the building at night, I'd finally had enough.
Did she ever come back?
I had the grounds of the house lined with salt. She never returned.
But has she been seen in the village?
Oh, yes. By the lake where she died. I really don't recommend you go there.
I just want to know if she had anything to do with what happened to my friend.
Look, I hope you find your answers. But if I were you, I'd leave this accursed place.